Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Yeah. I'm so handsome. All in Carmine's with my Benz, I'm so fancy. No romancing. Got my baby and she right, she make you vanish. No time to play, got book dates. Had a plan, only had to wait. Always knew I'd make a way. Send a bill, they send a pay. Keep it real, keep the record straight. Keep it real, no time to fake. All authentic in my own lane. I am me till I'm in the grave. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. Ooh, never panic. Get a worry, send it up and then advantage. I can't stand it.
Welcome back, guys. It's another Monday night here at Word of Mouth. Thought we'd be working on a home edition qualifier with you guys this week, but alas, they pushed it back a week. But now, doesn't matter to me. I did go get my pass this last weekend, man. So I think I played a total of 21 games. Never had a big game, just 27s and a couple 28s. That's really it. So never had a big one. Couldn't get, every time I have a 2 or 3 better, I'd watered 16. And then after watering 16, would somehow manage to stick 18 and shoot a 27. So, which was, it kind of sucked, but oh well. We could have gotten some more out of it. School life is fine, Neil. I got to say, more and more every day, getting more disappointed with maybe not the instruction. I like my professors, but what the material they have to teach now, it just doesn't feel like it's higher education, which, I mean, it could be that it's a community college near me. I'm not going to make all of my decisions based off of what's going on there. I got to see what it's like at getting back to a major university here soon. But now I'm in the process. I'm going to come up with something for you guys. I want to get rid of a portion of myself for Worlds. Like, get away about, I want you guys, part of the reason I'm still playing Golden Tee is because of the stream. So I want to figure out a way to get you guys involved with Worlds and on my behalf, whether it's part of the Calcutta or part of the winnings from me. We did it last year. Nobody made money, really. Nobody lost any. I think it ended up being a break-even proposition about. But who knows? Hey, Mike D. But what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna take a look at the event. All hole threes. Okay, all hole threes. Sometimes drivable, sometimes not. I'm thinking of hole threes, and I don't think of any that are or are not. Is that Mike Demko? Is that Ahmed? I don't think it is, because I don't think he knows how to use YouTube. Well, Neil, I wish that was my fault, but I'm not going to fly out of Iowa. My boy Johnny Tatura out of Chicago got his pass, so I'm proud of him, and I'm probably going to drive to Chicago and fly up with him. Not quite sure yet, though. So you guys, you're out. If one of my groomsmen gets a pass, that's my playing partner for the weekend. Sorry, guys, I can't. Man, he's my focus. That's my loves, man. I gotta love him. Cancel that. We're going to look at the event, like I said. So it's all hole threes. We're going to start with the 3 driver bag. I don't think losing my 4-iron is going to cost me on many hole threes, but we'll take a look and see what it's like. And then we'll dig into some invites and just prep up for next week, right? So we can help you guys get qualified on your home editions for World. So, I gotta reset it. Sorry. No, I won't work from doing that. Good eye, though. Good eye. It's on this time. I just turned it on, so it just needs to get reset twice. The Tesla. Come on. And there we go. We're back. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that one. That's something I don't really pay attention to that often, but I appreciate it. Uh-oh. We got a Jill sighting. She's so good to me. She brought my e-cigarette, but she smoked half of it on the way down here. Very good of Jill. Ah, Neil already has 2 pairs. He already has it. All right, let's take a look. See, it's kind of funny. Exactly what I planned. Like I played about 20-some games and I got 125 back. So it was like a net 0 game for me to make it. All right, that's my par 3 bag. We're gonna go to the 3 driver setup just in case. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, bud? Did I see you're selling your machine now? I take it you're getting a PGA? Ah. All right. So, hole 1, good. Was this all 2022 or what year? 2020? What is this? This is Jamaica. I don't know what year. Is that 2020? Yeah, pretty good. Ah, good man. Good man. Well, I think we talked about this already, but my head's just all for a loop. And I keep dropping weight. I think by the end of this week, I'll be in the teens, the 2 teens, it's so screwy, man. There is obviously something not right with me. I'm just not hungry, man. Wow, places I wish I would have been invited. I mean, I know at least Jill could have been invited. What the hell? Everybody likes Jill. All right, we got the tree line here. Now, we can play the shot through it. I don't like high teeing it through it because you'll go through this without sometimes it'll just go through without hitting anything. We're going to play this with bite. It's going to hit a branch, probably hit short, and then kick up. But if I play this with nothing, it'll go right through the trees, and then I'll go over the edge. Yeah, see, like that basically went through without hitting anything. Weird. But that's okay. We worked. We got some points out of it, too. So we got 2 1-betters starting this up. We got Slumbuster and Aljaz up there. Let's see what we got. We're going to catch those guys. That ain't going to be no problem. Ah. That's weird. I got my thumbs are feeling like they're actually going to work this evening too. This is strange. I got some invites to play against Beatty up here too, so we're going to get those in there as well. We got a busy non-eventful night. I also have the handicap with Michael Brooks, except this is the first time I haven't given strokes in a handicap match in a while. I'm playing even. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be that rare, especially an 80% handicap, but it means we're getting a variety of people in there. So Michael Brooks is playing he's at a 28.9, and so the handicap gives us only 0.3. Did I see, I think it's a total of 10, Neil. I'm not sure, though. Like I said, I kind of took that thought out of my mind right away because I really... Oh, no way. There is no way that hits that one hanging branch. What's there? Sometimes, I tell you, sometimes this game. I'm DNFing this. This is stupid. That was terrible. That was an Invisibranch, right? But like I said, yeah, we're DNFing this now. I keep hitting something there. That's ridiculous. I don't know. Off the tee box, I saw the branch that I think I hit, but on the replay, it's not there. How is that? I don't know. All right, here we go. We're just starting to stream now, guys. Welcome back. We're going to play some events to start the night. That whole thing didn't happen. It didn't happen. We didn't waste that. We didn't waste that money. Definite mulligan. I wish I could get the money back, though. But, oh, well. I've DNF, obviously. I DNF'd a few on the events mode. Okay, but it changed my clubs, and how'd that change? What the hell? How does this work? No one can answer me on this. Why did the clubs stay this time and I DNF'd and didn't finish the round? I was told that it doesn't update until the round finishes. But it changed. I was on my part 3 bag before, and now I'm not on my part 3 bag. I'm on my normal bag, my 3 driver bag that I just switched to. None of this makes sense. All right, let's ace this. Thought we had it. I don't know if any of you else on PGA have had the same issue that I've had, right? Oh, that's good. And I'm glad I got a good DNF out of it. That's a great one to get rid of. Look, as much as I can shoot a 4 better, let's be honest, the odds are not in my favor, and it's good. It's a good one to waste, right? But on the PGA, what I'm having is, if a course, it's even overtaking some bags that are assigned courses, but if you don't have a course assigned, it's just taking the last bag, even if it was a bag that was a build-a-bag on a different course assigned. So if I played, let's say I played Royal Cove, and this goofy bag for a Royal Cove is my bag, it overwrites my default bag with the Royal Cove bag. I don't understand it. I've told them exact scenarios on how to do it, and there's no response. But we'll get it. We'll get them to fix. We're going to get, I really would love to get some of the communications issues cleaned up. But, oh, God. Of course, the goddamn no 4-iron hurts, man. All right, we're past. We're up to the point where we had to quit last time, so we're back. Yeah, guys, as much as the 6-wood's distances are wrong, it's actually a perfect club to fill. The wrong distance is the perfect club to fit in between my 9-wood and my 5-wood. So I actually like the 6-wood being off like that. I just wish it just would say the right distance, you know, like just, hey, adjust it down a couple. We're going to low tee this one just to make sure. Oh, really a lot easier that way, right? That was a lot better. That's unique. 5-iron, low T 9 or a 5. I'm going to go with the low T 9-wood. I really don't like having to man up on a 5-iron with a cut through here, because there's a chance when you hammer a ball that you miss your angles by a little bit. So this, I could just baby it with a low T. Not that babied. We need a little less babies in it. A little less of the babies there. That's about perfect. It's going to be a little short. This can't go in, but we're going to have a really easy putt. Okay, so low T, Luke, low T is possibly my most important thing. So basically, yeah, you're taking wind out of it, and with stouts, imagine taking wind out of the half wind. Let's say it takes 10% off. I don't know. You'll have to get used to judging it. But the more important thing is that I can change my bounce, right? So if I'm floating like an iron in at a hole, and it lands, the bounce is going to play the break more dramatically when there's a wind in your face. But if there's an outwind, it'll play it less. So if I take it down to a low T and release it, I basically make everything a little bullet right at. I will play that invite here shortly. Michael, did you play it already? And then you also, the other important part about the low T. Okay. Let's talk game theory when we're talking about Golden Tee right now in the state that it is. Well, then I can't play and have you watch it, know what you need to shoot. That isn't fair. But let's talk a little game theory here, right? So with stouts, all right, our goal is to eliminate all of the variables, right? So stouts basically means that off any tee box, now obviously this isn't going to be a good judge because 12 and this tiny tee box, I can't adjust to it. But I can use the tee box and the aiming points on the tee box and just have a repetitive straight thumb shot. Well, what the low tee does, it allows me to have thumb shots in spots where I would need a pullback before or be in between distances. Well, I probably will still play it. So now off the pin. But so now I have another way to change all of my angles coming in, right? I can go with a low tee and thumb with release, and now the little breaks on the greens don't nearly play as much either. So I can shoot bullets at the hole. Now, a low tee release either isn't like, it isn't going to roll over. You will have some roll shots that we used to hit shots with roll with the helix and closest to the pin and roll them over. In fact, you used to be able to backspin shots with helix on the par threes that your backspin would have enough speed to roll over. Well, but release almost never will be able to roll over. And that's me there too. My theory is I want to hit my cuts softer rather than hard. Look, if I got to go directionally and hammer a shot, there's a chance the ball hops the roller and doesn't read to exactly where I aimed it. You're starting at a ball at a standstill, moving forward. Yeah, Rick, I did. How do we want to go at this? I mean, honestly, the play on this setup is probably around the left. I just don't hit it often. I mean, we didn't really ever have this shot when this was live. We never had to go around the left. So I'm going to go around the right still. And oh, come on. Yeah, well, I screwed myself pretty bad there. Can I make this? Probably not. Maybe if I went one click farther right, that comes through solid, but not that time. That sucks. How am I the only one that missed that? A little bit too hot of a cover. We'll get an ace to catch up. Yes, okay. Well, you're going to have to tell me which set of Pokemon cards, Matt. Another one that we're going to get a good definition of what the point of the low T is. So technically that shot's about, I'd have to pull back the 9-wood here. I don't want to have a pullback on a par 3 with almost no break to it and downhill. So I'll go here. Luke, that's a little bit different because with the driver low T, now that trajectory that you're coming in at, that ball's going to be so hot that you will have a chance of lipping out. Really, I'm not really low T'ing drivers because honestly, if I'm thinking of low T'ing a driver for distance, I have a 3-wood that it's perfectly fine that I'm going to be using there then. And when you're doing no pullback shots with drivers or your low lofted clubs, you lose distance very dramatically. You don't lose that much distance on a low T 8-iron, let's say. So those kind of things, no, I don't do that. And that's just because the way the ball bounces on the green, I'm not on the green very long for that to bounce. The check is going to be different. Plus, if I'm hitting such a low trajectory with a backspin and a low T with a driver, the ball's going to bounce forward. It's technically got more backspin, but it's going to bounce forward so much more dramatically that it will never get back to the point that it landed from. So I don't really use it there, but this is a great example. I'm going to low T this. I got a good enough wind in my face that I think I could just flip thumb this at about 85 and it should get back to the hole. Nope, it didn't get back. I needed to be about 80. But you saw how much easier that was than me having to make sure I get my pullback just right with the 9-wood and hit it just the right speed because max of the 9-wood was too hot. And 120 would have probably been a little short with the 9-wood. So those are the kind of times that I'm going to use that on. And pretty much all par 3s. I want to use it on par 3s quite a bit. I get the juices every time. Forget about those condoms. Way too young. All right. We're down by 1. We'll catch these guys. Not losing this game. We're coming right back. I hate this hole. It just doesn't, graphically, it doesn't line up. It shows me like I'm looking right at the pin. And it sure seems like I am, but I swear to God, if I go straight, I'm wet. Caesar, it's kind of boring, kind of disappointing a bit, but bulldozer. I told you we were gonna catch up. That's some moisture starting right now. I hate the hole though. I hate it. Now I love it. Now it's like my favorite hole ever. That was not the one I was expecting to catch up on. Okay, so this is one too where I would love to low tee it. I hit this shot so many times playing this live without tees being available that I don't play the hole enough anymore that I'm just going to actually do this like this. I just know that's just distances. I know how it comes out. Perfect. I'm just going to keep that one the same. With newer courses especially, I use a lot more low tees because I've been using them on the courses. So I don't have any learning curve whatsoever. Yo, yeah. You too, yo, yeah. And did I say we were winning that? We are winning that. We are beating those guys. That's the key. We got that one. Even with a mistake, we got it. Yeah, Brian, I'm with you. Putting, Jill, my wife even hates it because when we're watching shows, I yell about it all the time. It's bad. I'm sorry, putting is bad. I literally have spent a few hours with my stat plots that I have, trying to figure out an equation that will tell you it's so not based in any bit of reality. It has to be a mistaken code. I am firmly to that point that there is a mistake somewhere along the line in the code that is look, the miles per hour and the feet that you are away from the hole are they're directly linearly related. But the distance the ball can go on those spots are up and down at all. Caesar, have I ever yelled at you? We'll leave it right there. I've never yelled at Jill either. Caesar and Jill, the only two people I've never yelled at. Hi, Mikey. I don't like this one. Again, I'm not low teeing this because let's just, I mean, if we low teed a shot going at this green, the balls bounce forward. It would be so hard to stick this. And in fact, this shot, I'm not even really going at the pin. I mean, I'm going to hit it at it a little bit, but I'm not going aggressive for this hole out. That was really just me putting it in that spot, in that area that I had up there. See, I wanted this one. I'm dead in between. Yeah, well, so Brian, all right, so here, you might not have ever looked at this, but I kind of started doing, look, okay, so your miles per hour are directly related to how far away from the hole you are. So for instance, you can hit it 32 miles per hour on a putt that is 100 feet away. Now, those aren't the right ones. I'm just coming up with it. So I was like, this is so weird. That doesn't ring true with how putts come off. We know we have putts that come off hot, right? So what I did was I started turning one turn directionally, and we know that's 12.5 degrees if I'm doing the math right, but we know that number's set. So I was putting it as hard as I could on this line with the straight one, then taking that angle being 12.5 degrees, knowing what the distance the hole was on the first one, and then I knew what the next line was. So I had a triangle that I knew two of the sides and one of the angles. I could find the third side, and figure out how far the ball would actually be able to go. And it gives you some weird, stuff. I'll share it out, and I've shared it for quite a few people here and in the chat a lot, but it's really interesting to see if you're this kind of person that deals with the numbers like I do. But did I hit another? I think nope, that's right. But the point being is that there's different parts in the putting, in the range of your putter, that go super fast, but then 3 feet later they're super slow. Now, okay, that's well and good on a flat putt or a straight putt, but how does that affect when you're on a break? If I play a left 6 at the same line every time, within a 3 feet distance on a putt, distance of a difference of a putt, that ball's going to break dramatically different because the distance can go so much further. Let's say, and if you look at the numbers, it's pretty easy to understand what I'm talking about. But based off of that alone, oh my, what did I do there? Weird, bad shot. So that's where I'm saying that putting is broken. That isn't right. That is not right. And it's the same issue I had with tiered greens, was that if you were right next to the tier, you took 3 putts to get up. But if I was 20 feet away from the tier, I had no problem making the putt. The tier head didn't even exist. And they agreed that that's not right. Okay, so that's cool. But being able to make a 77-foot putt on 17 of Easter, but not being able to make the putt on the same line from 72 feet, like you can't get it to the hole, that's not legit. That means it's broken, and someone should be digging into that a lot more ferociously than anyone there has. And it doesn't seem like anybody gave a shit. But it's things like that that kind of tribal knowledge is so useful for people like myself. And when we're competing, I mean, there's not much difference between a top 1% and a top 0.1% player. It's those little things that I know that this putt has to be done this way or else I can't make it. It's not legit. It's not right. Well, that formula there, well, so honestly, it shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, writing the code for it should just have it should just have limits, and it should have a percentage. Like, if you're 70 feet away from the hole, you can putt 14%. This putt can travel 14% pass, let's say, or 15% pass. And that should be the standard on everything. And that should be with a pullback in a straight line on it. But as of right now, pulling back on your putts is a terrible thing to do. I do it because that's how I've gotten used to playing. But all you do is totally lose. The only thing that pulling your putter back can do is lose distance. That is it. If you pull the putter back and you do not have a straight line with your follow through, you have lost a small percentage of distance on your putt. That's it doesn't give you any benefit. That's the other fix to putting that needs to be done. So, like right now, your max distance that you can get on a putt will be a no pullback and hammered on the right line. It's so bad. It really is. But this goes into the whole thing that I've said for quite some time, that we don't have enough people at IT that play the game at a competitive level to recognize that these things are not right. If a person that goes to the bar and doesn't play a lot of Golden Tee plays, they won't even notice that putting's fucked up. That's fine. Well, when the majority of the games are played by people who are very competitive and competing for prize money, these little intricacies need to get changed. Caesar, but that is actually my computer science. That's part of the reason I'm doing it. Because I had a cursory knowledge of code, couldn't write it, and I'm starting to get a bit better with it. But with ChatGPT now, shit, none of us will need to know it. So as of right now, my major is computer science, but I might bail on that and go to law straight, because I really enjoy, legal matters, things of that nature. No, pre-law. So I'm doing computer science and pre-law. This summer, I'm taking all class. I'm not going. I don't need to go into classes anymore. Honestly, it's some use to it. I do like that style. But what I'm realizing is the people that are around me, most of them are like 1 or 2 other people in the class are actual thinkers, and the rest of them are the trained monkeys, just learning how to do exactly what they say. They're not understanding it. Brian, I do like to argue. But I like to argue because I'm right most of the time. That people who are always wrong generally learn they're not good. They shouldn't be arguing, right? I know that's kind of being cocky, a little conceited. I understand. What the fuck? Oh, this is the. Wait a minute. Am I playing the event right now? Yeah. Okay. All right, so this one here. Now, the 9-wood's a little fickle. My low T is still long here, so I'm going to flip this with bite. I would like to release this a little bit. I would have liked to hit that shot with release, but you can't really dumb the 9-wood down with no pullback to get it to that distance. So we went with bite. It worked out. This distance is too damn good to mess with height. This is too good. This is a straight shot. I just don't know if the size of this tee box allowed me to move to the right enough to account for that wind going left a little. We're going to see. It's really hard to tell, and you can't really come up with anything specific or formula related because the sizes on the tee box, they are always a 10 by 20 grid, but they shrink depending on how much tee box is available for you. So you never know what size they are. I can't say that on a level shot that one square fights 2 miles per hour side wind. You can't say that because the sizes of the grid sizes change all the time. Oh, and my murder thumb that. I did not mean to murder thumb it. That was a good low tee. Now that after I hit it, a low tee would have helped. All right, pin short. Now, I got to remember, I'm pretty sure that anything clears this without a high tee, and it should. And no, I don't want to low tee that one. I don't want to low tee that one, Luke. McClellan would have hit a low tee something goofy back in the day on it. Well, I'm hitting a 9-wood right at it. He's hitting a 3-turn C 2.5 2-iron with some shenanigan type shot. It's crazy. It was crazy to watch. Oh, cool. Sticky sand caused that one not to bounce up. And that's another one, too. That ball would have been on the green in previous year when this course was live. But we saved it anyway. Good. Oh, dude, there's nothing. Am I in the weird part here? Hi, Marc. Am I in the minority with this opinion that Minnie Driver was really hot back then? I don't care what anybody says. I thought she was gorgeous. Not like what we all would kind of consider the classical type beauty. Moisture. Thanks for tuning in, Marc. You can leave now. We got the hole in one, so it's time to go. Again, we're in between clubs. Now, can I low tee the 6? Possibly. With this little height change, a slight out, I'm actually going to just thumb the 9 with roll. Now, I didn't even look for moving the tee to fight that wind because I know that there's no tee box that's big enough for me to move directly to the edge of the box and hit it straight. It just doesn't work. It's just the winds are there. The wind is when it's in that level, you can't manipulate the tee box like we are on the other shots. Now we got 333 in. I would like to medium tee this. But I just moved the tee box up. I might hit the wall now. So we'll just go with the high tee 10.5. Remember, my carry distance for this club's roughly 350. We got a wind in our face and a downhill. So I'm guessing that my carry distance on a max shot here is about 340. And then since the ball is coming back with that height change in the wind in my face, I'm going to actually get a little backspin. So I can kind of just hit this as hard as I want, not really have more than a 30-foot putt. So I nuked it. Let's just see where it lands. And we got a little backspin with a 30-foot putt. 26. There we go. But we're not really working on anything. We are going to putz around with the home edition qualifier, but that doesn't exist until next week. Now they pushed us back. So we're just playing. We're just playing to play this evening. I'm going to go with the 9-wood here and just go right at this. It seems like it's short, but we know the 9-wood's long. If I hit this hard, I'd fly the green. So I smoothied that. And that's pretty much what I wanted to happen. I wanted it to hit short. With the 9-wood, with the height of it, when it landed in the rough, it wouldn't have had enough trajectory to bounce through the green. No risk to that at all. If I would have gone with the 6-wood, I had a chance of going fringe water kind of thing. That wouldn't have been good. And now we're just floating in. We've got the wind sewed up right now. Well, unless somebody aced that. And no one did. So we're in a good spot. We can just let it roll. We can let it roll. Swollen ankles must have done what I did the last time. He quit early. Now, once again, remember, I like to hit my cuts soft. So I'm going to high tee this with bite. And you're like, why are you high teeing a club that's longer than the distance already? Well, we got a wind. We got a height change. We're going downhill. So that wind's going to get multiplied a little bit. And I'm going to hit it soft with a cut around the trees. And I kind of want it just to plop on the green. I'm not going to hit this hard at all. And that's just my style. You do not have to cut the ball like I do. I just found I get my lines a lot better when I'm keeping my speed on my cut shots at the 125 or less range. So you'll see me generally, I'm going up 2 clubs on most of my cut shots than what the club I would play on a thumb shot right at the hole. I know it's a little bit weird. And like myself, it's off-putting. John, I'm out. I'm not going to make I'm not going to make another PGT event. I don't need that in my life. Let's take a look at what invites we got. I'm going to play another warm-up, and then I'll play Michael Brooks. I'll just put a 2-better up while he's watching, just to make him feel bad and sad. As much as I'm going to miss everybody, you got to make decisions sometimes, and that was one there. I don't. Now, Brian, I can understand that. Oh, wow. Really, Matt? Look at that. Does that look like pudding? The camera just adds weight. That is not pudding, dude. No more pudding, baby. Oh, I appreciate it, John. I understand that. I just can't. You know, I put a lot of time and effort into a lot of that. I put a lot of my time and money and effort and things into every part of that, and I just don't. Sorry, I don't need that anymore. I don't need to do that and then be spoken to the way I've been spoken to. One, two, three. I hooked up right now. There's 3. There's another 3 in a drawer here that King sent me or left here. Thanks, Johnny boy. Really? Honestly, what? Now you can't eat when you're erect, Caesar? No eating for Caesar when he's erect, everybody. Oh, we're playing the handicap match now. I didn't even realize it. Whoops. I got to focus now. So let's go here. Can I thumb this shot? I'm going to be weird distances because the 4-iron's one of those clubs that just doesn't, your thumb, my normal thumb speed is short of that distance. But I can do this. Okay, that's too much club. But if I go like this, every chance of making it. Come on, ball, rip. And then once you get those speeds down, you're good, dude. You're good, man. You're good. And really a good way when you're first starting off doing it, kind of compare, think the backspin through. Like, okay, a low T9 would, is that similar to the angle? Am I getting similar to a trajectory of a 4-iron? No, probably not. Probably the 5-iron trajectory is, so you can kind of start realizing your spin's going to react very similarly to that. Well, the 9-wood distance is off by 10 yards at least. Ryan, it's got to be done by feel, and it's a feel that it's a feel that's changed now. So we'll go through the first opportunity. I'll show you what I mean. But a lot of it is figuring out how to pinch the ball right? And I know it sounds weird when I say that, but when you pinch the ball right, you can get it to go that angle pretty well. A lot of people think that they'll hear me playing at tournaments or sometimes because I'm purposely, while I'm at tournaments, since I'm not familiar with the balls, I purposely hit down into it because I know I can swing hard enough that I don't need to go through the trackball to get my maxes. But when I'm at a tournament, I can eliminate a lot of the variables at it with the stuff like hand grease or different trackballs that I'm used to. I can eliminate those variables by just hitting down into the ball. It helps out quite a bit. But I'll show you. And nowadays, you see that people would rather than aim at my target with an obstacle in front of me. They'd rather go, let's pretend there's a tree directly in front of me. Well, I would always aim here, play my cut a little bit, and then throw it around it. Now, the thing that people do is this. They go from here, full C and straight. I don't find that to be as accurate as I'm still aiming at my target this way. So that's one trick to get around it. Make a turn, but then you're having to go with blind cuts, basically, to figure out. It's more of a guess. See, with the way that myself, and I used to say when McCook came back in, we literally knew what shots the other person was hitting because we still have the same style as back in the day. I think Kinsler's more in that style type thing too. As much as Haas hits a lot of fulls, I think he hits fulls only when he's not comfortable with the straight shot, or he's very comfortable with the full on that. If that makes sense. Oh, come on! I thought that was my one better. Crap. All right, so now here again. Well, it's basically, Jeremy, anytime you're past the 45-degree pullback is when you have a chance of it snap hooking or slicing on you. That's it. It's the 45 degrees is a rough estimate. I couldn't give you anything more exact than that because we don't have measurements more exact for that. Okay, so from the pad, yeah, I get it. Well, I'll tell you right now, if you go and look up on GoldenTeeTV, there's a match of mine and his in the final 3 of Player of the Year, and it was on Ruby Rock. And the shot that gets shown is I aced 18 to win. But what doesn't get shown is that Putz holed out 2 of the first 4 holes and was up by 2 on me. And he hit 2 fulls moving down through the round that were so miserably bad that he let me back in. So I'm going to say, yeah, you kind of can, Brian. The 9-wood is long. Like this, I count for this landing. If I thumb this hard, I can land this at 200. You can't land your clubs without a pullback at more than the distance very easily. So I wouldn't have even thought to be biting a shot like that. But, I mean, if you look, I got the distance right there, and that's longer than the distance on the overhead. It's the one club that's different like that. The 6-wood is also shorter than the number that it says. So if you got a 9-wood, so here's how I look at it, right? The 7, the 8, and the 9 are technically, if you looked at the numbers I've charted off, on a high tee and low tee, the 7, the 8, and the 9 have the exact same carry distance. A high and low tee. Medium tee, there's a 2-yard separation of each of them, right? Hey, good shooting last week, Cam. I hope you are too. Can't wait to see you at Worlds. But the distances are 10 yards off on the 8, the 9, and the 7. So where something's got to give there, right? You'll get it, Brian. That's the play more, give better type shot. And I'll tell you this. I tell you this. If a part of my game goes away in a day, its thumbs are going to be the one thing. There are times at tournaments where I just stop thumbing because I'm not confident in them anymore. But at home, it's my most used shot, and it's actually a huge disadvantage if you lose confidence in your thumbs in match play. Now, luckily, I've got my no pullback push shot now as well. So if my thumbs ever go bad, I've still got that. Like if I'm not confident that these two are going to work together, I've got the no pullback push. And that's really the same thing. That's all you're really looking to get out of with stouts. You want a shot that you don't have pullbacks on because that's adding a variable that we don't need. All right, so this is downhill with an 8 in my face. This is so weird that I'm going to do this, but I released a medium tee here. And I probably shouldn't have, but it's okay. I just didn't really want to mess with the water at all. Whew. Okay, so we got a big downhill with an outwind. That's the club normally, but with this outwind, I'm going to just move it up a little right, and I'm going to do my push shot. I think I want to hit this about 100. My thumbs, if I try to get to 100 on my thumbs, I have a chance of spraying it, but with my push shot, my 100's about normal. And I hit it 106, which is hot, but that's fine. We had that variance in there because the pin being in the middle, I wasn't too concerned if I had a plus or minus 5 to 10 miles per hour. I was going to be fine either which way I did that. All right. This is possibly my worst hole on the course on all of these. That was the safest I could hit it. I'll take the points too. That was actually a really great look. Okay, another one. We want a thumb shot here. That's my thing with putting. I pull back for comfort purely. But it's a negative. Honestly, like it's one thing I would love to change. That, and I would love to start playing again now that I can see the shot meter. My chipping always had a hook to it because my natural pullback where I think I'm straight is a couple clicks to the right. It's like my hand rolls over the ball. That's part of height. It's probably the way I stand or how I position my hand on the ball. But it's something that if I change now, it's just going to ruin my game. I don't want to break it down like that just to maybe get a little better at chipping. So knowing those things now, yeah, see, that was the thing. Yeah, it's so much better, right, Cam? I mean, once again, this is why I argue, guys, because I end up being right. I have not found a single person that has found the PGA machine to be worse after they've gotten used to it. It's different for certain. Yeah, absolutely different. Yeah, see, my first day I played 12, and then I think I played 8 more on Saturday just to make sure. Yeah, light years. There's like not as many glitch type things happen. Yeah, it's light years better. I mean, now we just need a better marketing campaign to make people understand that. God damn it. All right, we got this could be risky, but we're not worried about it. No, I fucked it up. Okay, good. Whew. I thought that was going to tip over the edge. Play with my feet. I'm not that flexible, Caesar. Oh, okay, so Caesar, you're way better than you give yourself credit for. Yeah, this is definitely on. The question is, where do I want to go from? Do I want to high tee it? I don't like this. I really don't like this shot at all. Mask on. Actually, I think I nailed the speed on that. I don't like my line, but I don't like that at all. That's not a good putt to have. We're happy though. We are happy. Woo! Oh, absolutely, John. I should have plenty of Eagles invites. I should have at least 2. Oh God. Well, we only have one choice here. It's going to be a high 6 wood. The high 9 would be what I'd want to hit. It ain't getting there into a 12. The high 6 is going to be a little deep. I don't like it. Now, if I really needed to ace this, I'd probably have to go with the medium T5 and get it through the gap. And now we're going to probably have a shit putt, too. I can't. That's just. I'm giving myself a clap on that. I'm very happy with that approach. I risked being short so that I didn't have a left 10 60-footer. It does have a different feel, but I think it's just because of the positioning of everything, Brian. It's exactly the same game, but there is a caveat. We went from a 32-bit Windows system, Linux system, to a 64-bit Linux system. Now, I mean, technically that means everything can be way more accurate with it, right? It means your readings can take, you've got more memory in play, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, the Surface, yeah, I mean, yeah, very true. Everything about what you said is true. Now, my load screens, I never noticed a difference, really, because on all my legacies, I always had SSDs in there, and that was the only thing that it was really good at was load times. It lessened load times on boot up. Boot up, I found, is really slower on the PGA, but who cares? I'm rarely doing it. All right, let's take a look at an Eagles again. Hey, if I lose that match, that means that Numbnuts Mr. Brooks shot a good game. Oh, we got one. There we go. Oh, it's for $50, so I got to play it. I'll talk through it, but I'll play it, but I got to talk through it some when we're playing. But I mean, I got to focus on this. I can't be losing. I keep losing these, playing them on stream. No, you don't. You were playing straight up. You got to shoot better than par. That's all you got to do. Shoot better than par. Now, what you're going to find here is that the straight shot gives you a much better chance of getting on most of the time. No, you're good, dude. I don't mind. So the problem here with the straight shot is I'll barely get on. I'm going to have a left 2 from 98 feet. I'm sorry, I'm not making a left 2 from 98 feet with the way the putting is. I can't really make that degree. It's a crapshoot if it goes in. So I want to do whatever I can to either A, get it closer to the 70-foot range, or I want to leave it short so I have a chip. Now with this left 7 wind, I want to put it here, and we're going to try to smoke this with a high tee roll with the A1. I caught a 152 and got it pretty far out, so it snapped okay. I'm going to get a shit bounce. Yeah, I'm okay with this, though. I'd rather have this than the putt from just at the very front of the green, because now I've got this. And that, to me, is better. Yeah, light-ups, you can beat me on light-ups. Get after it. Oh, went through them, though. And I got to say, this might be the hardest hole in the course now for me. Good thing is today, where that pin is, I can just back this up and high tee a 6. And the left side, you have a lot less risk. If we can get a good view of this while we're flying by, there isn't a rock at the top that will take off your spin and shoot you forward real hard. So if I hit the trees on the left-hand side and it's past the hump of the hill, it will gently land onto the green. This one, I'm not planning on hitting anything. And I laid off of it, so I'm going to hit it. But it's fine. Like, you see Daisy. Like, did you guys see that putt died? And it felt like it barely got to the hole. I don't think I hit it any less hard than I always do all my other putts. That doesn't make sense to me, and that's not good. Oh. My back. On my stack. Yeah, this hole just a little tricky. I like playing a low tee, even though there's no trees in play. I do like the low tee. And it carries pretty good on this hole for some reason. But where I like where that pin is, you can hit it a little hot and have it hit the wall and it'll come off. I have yet to hit the wall and go wet. They can help, Brian. I do a shot with a high tee 8.5 right into them. Oh, you're talking about on 2. On that hole, I'd use it too. Trust me, if there's not many people in the history of Golden Tee that have used tree branches to their advantage like I have. Now I've got a distance on this one, right? Well, Caesar, unfortunately, right now I am now not getting monetized again because somehow my AdSense account was removed. So they told me to create a new one, and when I created a new one, it failed creation because I still have an AdSense account already. So I actually just reached out to them again after dealing with their support for a total of 10 hours with a totally ineffectual answer. And I went back to Twitter with it, and they'll have it fixed. But the end support's like, well, you just need to wait 32 days and then delete that account. It's like, what? But I have distances on this. If the pin is at the far back, it's at the 370 range. It's an 8.5 driver with release. If the pin's in the middle, it's either nothing or bite. And if the pin's in the front, I'm back spinning it. On this one, I'm going to hit it hard with bite. I'm probably going to be a little short of the pin. But I don't want to try to let this run at this hole, because if you look, the straight line between there, if I miss it a little right, it bleeds off right pretty hard. So I'm going to nuke it out and do exactly what I said I was going to fucking not do. I don't know how I just did that. And now this chip sucks too. Because of that. You have that little lip. God damn it. That was a bad shot. I'm trying. I totally didn't want to do that. But since I put a new trackball in, it takes a while for it to be perfectly accurate. And you're going to find that with any trackball. This is one that was built by Jack. But the unfortunate thing is, yeah, he did a great job on... he does some great work at the balls, but it's still brand new rollers, guys. And that's going to be the problem with most of us when we get a new trackball, is that the rollers have no groove. So you're a smaller point on a point rather than having a little groove that to roll on. Oh. Wow, I'm listening to Chance, and he's started quoting old rap stations from back when I lived in Chicago. Bringing me back, man. Bringing me back. I hate this hole, too. I rarely attack the pin. I'm literally almost always just putting something to be on the middle of the green. Why screw around with something? If the pin is in the middle, top of the green, then I'll try to ace it. But when it's on these sides, screw it. Just get your eagle. Walk the hell away. Let your opponent screw that one up. All right, so this is where that low T shot comes into play. I'm going to low T release this, and you're like, how? That's going to go long. No, watch this distance. So now I just changed my trajectory to I'm hitting a shot. If I would have thumbed a 5-iron normal at that, it would have just plopped and had no motion once it landed. Hey, Funk, how you doing, bud? This one, we're always, if we get this set up like this, we're always going to just high TVA 1 here with the 10.5, because if you look, I'm past all of the trees. Even the trees that are on the line of the pin, I am past that. Nothing's in my play anymore. Yes, sir, we do have to bear down. Got that draft coming up soon. The great thing is I think we're going to end up having the #1 pick next year as well. Carolina's going to be very bad, in my opinion. Me that it's not so bad. Oh, good shit, Funk. Nice work, my man. This is just an easy look at this hole. Generally, I mean, there's 7 different... That's the joy of this course. There's 7 different shots I'll hit on every hole, which is awesome. It's like the first course we've had in decades that you have to be great. Brian... Well, I also charted that off as well for you. And let's go here. We'll look at carry distance. Remember, the numbers that I'm going to list for you here are only carry distances, right? The total distance is going to have to be adjusted by you and your height change that you're going through it, yada, yada, yada. Here. Now, mind you, the way I do the testing for this, we are making it so the ball can only go dead straight. So do remember, I'm at a limit here because I can't use a Build-A-Bag since I'm doing it in a non-prize play thing where I'm not swiping in when I'm pulling a cord on it to allow it to only go straight. So the only thing I had available for this last round of tests was the bags that are available on PGA, statically. So I got as many of the clubs as I could, but you might not have 1 or 2 of the ones you have there. Sorry. It reminds me that it's not so bad. You don't answer fans inside the concert. And that's the shot that I'm hitting here on this hole whenever it's not a straight shot where I can hit a low tee through the trees. We need to play a couple of these for you guys to get all of the shots. Like I said, great course because it can change so much. It changes so much, but par is always 31 or 32. It only changes based off of one being drivable. That's awesome. That honestly takes some serious development chops, and especially the fact that Brian, hey, good, but then get used to it. And like I do, I don't have all of them memorized, but I do have a couple of certain clubs that I know. I don't know what my forward is. I don't know exactly what my 3-wood is. I don't know what my carry distance is for the 8.5 or the 9.5, but I do know exactly what my carry distance is for the 5-wood high tee and my 10.5 high tee, because those are the clubs that I'm going to be using to get over an obstacle. The rest of it's still a guessing game for all of us. And honestly, that just makes it simple. If I was going to try to recall from my memory, and mind you that we play Golden Tee drunk a lot of the times, trying to recall all of those things while you're drunk, not easy. But recalling 3 or 4 things, not too bad. All right, we're just going to go, again, this is a totally different shot than everything I always play here. But we're just going to high tee the 6-wood. And then just cut it in. I mean, that's as easy as that look can get. I'm in the branches song. Perfect. Okay, so this one, if we're this close, there's nothing. Well, you can hit an iron over like an 8-iron high tee. This is why I put the super spin 2 in. Oh, bad kick. Oh, it absolutely is. And remember, that's also theoretical maxes, right? Hey! What's up? Mr. Rocco Gold. Is it wrong that I have to process through all of your names whenever I see it? But I like Rocco best. No offense. I'm not trying to say your mom did bad. The Rocco Gold name's pretty good, dude. I feel like you're my personal porn star. Oh, that was a great one to talk about foals and obstacles, Ryan. That was one that we could have easily discussed on, and I should have. I wish I did. 9 Supper C. What? I don't know what that is. All right, what I would like to do here is to cut this in. I'm not going to, because that's bringing in way too much risk. Now, if I move it all the way right, am I now over the edge of the green? I don't know. I think we're just going to flip this with release and just let it go wherever I'm at. Fine. Once again, when I'm going into if I'm going into a green, like if I'm looking at it, it tells me it's a left 11. Generally, I want to have an arc that's coming into that left 11 so that the bounce doesn't just bounce directly away from the hole. In that case, we let the wind do it for us, and I'd rather have a slightly longer putt than, a shot that I could easily snap over that edge of that. And if you do that, you get stuck against the wall, and you're looking at double bogey at best most of the time kind of thing. All right, we're going to go here. If you're doing just fine if you relax a little. All right, not bad. I'll take the smooth 30. That's okay. I'm sure I have some other ones to accept that are that course, so I'll take a look. No. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna let me see if I got some other ones to accept on it. I didn't see any others when we were looking there, but I know I've got invites to accept. Huh. But every 30 I've been shooting lately on those, I've been losing the matches. So Let's see. Is there one to accept that somebody else has? And you know what? No. I do not have any to accept. Okay, that's okay. So we're gonna just keep banging them. Oh, absolutely. Let's take a look, because that's what we're qualifying on. I should have some Nords. Oh, we do. We have a couple Nords. All right. Oh, one's Beatty, too. Let's beat up on Beatty. We're playing okay right now. Let's get him. Let's get after him. All right, so hole one, just remember, be careful. If you're not way over this over that snow pit right there, or is it a bunker? It will roll back and you will hit something on the fairway that you don't even see. So I always make sure, if I can't get it way over like I just did, I'm just leaving it short of it. Damn it. All right, we need to start getting hot. We got to start getting hot. I think I need to start ramping up my gameplay too, because I've been not playing nearly as much as I used. As much as I know it was a guarantee to get my Worlds Pass, it's really nice that I got it out of the way. Pretty easy. Hi, Diane. You are stunning. Right, guys? Jill's mom, Diane Cromie. Beautiful, folks. Beautiful young lady. No, I had one earlier. I did have one. I had one on, what's it called? Now, Diane, did Jill kind of, did Jill explain to you how the streaming works? And, like, when I'm live, I'm actually live? Like, I'm actually here talking to you right now. Oh, Caesar, I should have worn yellow shorts now. This hole should be a lot more than it is for me. I just can't figure out that it pulls back on the backspin a lot different than what you would expect a right two should. And it's because of the height change, is my opinion. But it doesn't feel as typical as some of the other holes. I don't know about you guys, but when it's offset like this and I'm going to thumb a shot, generally I'm going to choose to thumb to the left. Being a right-handed person, I don't know why. I do it with thumbs too. But this would be like, I have a propensity to cut on my pullbacks if I was doing a pullback. So generally I'm going to go with the line going right to left rather than having to go this line. If I was a lefty, I'd probably do it this way, if that makes sense. But this was just a thumb shot. Backspin would have been good. Diane Caesar says hello as well. Guys, Diane's on Facebook. She's not getting the bots. So what you guys say, she won't see. Come on. Oh. And sometimes you're using spin. Like, I used roll there, but I wasn't using roll to make it bounce forward. I was using roll to just keep the ball moving once it landed. If I hit bite or release there, that ball plugs right when it lands. But if I had roll on it, it'll get a bounce and start moving, and then I can get it to play the right two on it that I was hoping to get. It got a little bit of action, but not a lot because of the height change on it. So we're not always, and people seem to think that backspin, bite, roll, release is all just to adjust how the ball lands, like on greens. And it's so much more useful when you're using it to manipulate whether your approach shots, heights of shots. There's more to it than that. Okay, we'll take a look. Hopefully it is that, because I got it. There. Are you happy, John? Are you happy now? I'm such a patriot, I have 2 eagles. Did that big pin bin? Oh my God, this guy. Making blueberry muffins. Thanksgiving. Stuffing. Clean. Mr. Clean. All right, way downhill again. Now, I just told you guys the four. Okay, I group my irons off in sets, and generally I group off in sets of three. The 3, the 4, and the 5 are all very similar, right? They are all short of the marker on my standard 90 mile per hour thumb. My 7, 8, and 9 at the marker a little bit longer, and I'm talking about the overhead marker when you're on a tee box, okay? And then the pitching, the 9 iron, the wedges, you can thumb those past the number there, and that's because of the height. When you have clubs with lower height, when you don't pull back, you have a more dramatic loss of distance on them. For instance, if I do a thumb shot on my 8.5 driver, that ball lands at like 275. Now, will it carry and roll out far? Yeah, it does, but my carry distance is only like 275. So I don't thumb that shot a lot. Now, how do we want to attack this? So you would be thinking, okay, 12 outwind, downhill, 4 iron, thumb shot, backspin. But I think that's short on this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the 9 wood, and I'm going to thumb it low tee with backspin. And I just flipped it. And look, I had the speed to get past the hole that had every chance of going in, and I had no risk of anything else. So I eliminated all risk and only had reward. That's my goal on every shot. But this one I just like to hit the 10.5 with bite on. Backspin would have probably been really nice there. Piper. She had a bad day. Again, downhill. Now, this changes everything. But this one, I know it's short, but then I got a little extra distance with the downhill and an outwind. So I'm going to low tee it, release it. So I'm thinking that I'm changing my trajectory enough that I'll have a forward bounce with this lands, and I'll be able to move it through the up 6 a little bit. Now, if I hit a 5 iron normal, release would have done nothing. And in fact, it probably still lands and goes backward. But now with a low tee on it, I'm coming in at more of a trajectory of it's a shorter 4 iron, let's say. And notice it rolled forward when it landed, and that's what I wanted to do. That's all I was trying to get there. I got more distance because we don't have an exact number for height on holes. So even though it looks the same, we're still playing a guessing game when it comes to height. And I can't, this hole, I have a feeling I'm going to screw this up. But we're going to drop down a club, and we're going to hit it with bite. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of those kinds of things. You can't pick them all out, and some of them should be unplayables. It's just bad luck, Maddie. Oh, fine. I was not about to backspin that either. Even though the chances of me pulling through that whole rough, I'm in trouble. It wouldn't have probably happened. I don't even want to screw with going to the other tier. What I wanted you guys to get out of the habit of doing is using a high tee on this hole, right? If you hear my theories of the game theory that I have, if I'm going to hit a shot on something like this, I want to hit max distance, right? I want to hit the max swing, right? It's so much more repeatable to hit max than to say, okay, I'm going to high tee the 10.5. But if I high tee the 10.5 at max, I'm flying the screen without even touching it. I could probably high tee this, but I'm still at a risk of flying it. But if I do this with a medium tee, I can hit this as hard as I can. Watch this. Perfect. It's going to be perfect. No risk. None whatsoever. There's no way I could have flown that green. There was no way I could have been short by hitting it max. Take all the risk out of it. And once again, all reward. This is one where I don't want to thumb it, but so I'm going to do a push shot at this. I want to hit release, but I'm going to just hit it with naked. And I'm glad I did it naked, because putting release on it, as much as I thought that might be a better way of holding it, would have brought in all the hazard. Medium tee with nothing, that was fine. Bite would have even been safer, but I didn't think I had any risk with the downhill into a wind. Oh, wrong. Wait a minute. That's not, I've never had it face me that way before, I don't think. I'm soft on this, guys. Even though there's a 10 in my face, this ball carries. I almost did a no pullback shot on that, but I like my distance. My speeds are pretty good right now. I did it naked, Jeremy. You're right. Okay. Now, I'm going to go with my math on this. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drop down. This is my lowest club. I want to get an idea on my line, because when I'm up at this club, that looks like it's pretty straight, but when you bring it down, it might not be. Okay, that's pretty much straight. It's a little off to the left, which I want because of that right wind. Now, the basic premise here and what he wanted to have on this was you to be able to putt it. We still haven't been teed up close enough to the front of this that I could putt it. Yeah, man, yeah, absolutely. But right now, school schedule's got me, so I can't really make any plans except for Worlds. So that's my focus right now. And then after that, I'm going to try to do my best. I really want to try to get out to the Atlanta things with Racing for Casher. Mark Williams is hosting out at Winston's. I don't know if I can make it happen. But back to this hole. What I found on this, for me, it's going to be a chush at 35 miles per hour with a low tee between a 6-wood and a 3-wood. And that's going to be wind dependent and distance dependent. I'm going to use releaser roll almost really every single time. On this one, I'm going to release it. I haven't really hit roll much. The 6 is definitely going to be short with this shot, right? 5, you're going to be pushing it. 4, probably right. That 3's probably hot, but I really think it's the right play. So I'm going to back it up on the box. I'm going to low tee release it, and then I'm chushing it. Simple. And was that 35? I didn't see the meter, but was that 35 miles per hour? And what you really got to get used to on that is the wind in your face is really dramatic when it's there. That's why you have to hit it. You have to hit a low wood. You can't, even a chip shot. If I chipped a 5-iron like that, I bet it would roll back into the water. Wind did absolutely nothing there. I'm glad I hit the fringe, but and last shot of the course. This is so, why do we offset this? Look, that wind isn't going to turn it enough, so I'm going to have to play a cut back that way. And I'd rather hook into it. So I'm going to go from here. Now I can hit it as hard as I want. I won't fly this now. Fine. Perfect. Great. I did it that way because in that regard, I didn't want to go over a hazard at all if I can avoid it. So I kept my ball over the largest part of landmass that I could for that whole path. Wow. Well, thumbing softly, yeah, the lowest you're going to thumb typically, that's basically what I did. You're thumbing it to a speed of a chush. So where we can't use the max distances of clubs, we can use the minimum distances because then we can change the trajectory coming in. I would really not recommend just thumbing because you'd be hitting at 70 at the lowest. And I hit that 35 with a 3-wood and was almost short. I mean, so honestly, try to get used to hitting that lowest speed shot you can hit. It comes in real useful on a hole like that. Oh. All right, let's go again. Let's see what we got. I don't think we want another Nord. We kind of got the bad hole that we were hoping to see. So that was good. That worked. What do we got here? What do we got? We got 3 days remaining, so we're not worried about time on any of these. I really don't want to play Champ anymore. Hey, Matty B. I guess we got to play a Nihon. Let's play that other one against Beatty right now. Well, Maddie's here. I could play his games. Get him loosened up to host the St. Louis tournament, guys. Hey, guys, you got a great host on your hands. So if you're on the cusp of going or not, just know that Maddie Barron's one of the viewers here. One of the viewers here is hosting the event, and I really wish I could be there to support him. He's going to do fine, though. He knows what he's doing. He's got a funny guy with him, too. Yeah, I've been meaning you to message you, Matt, and I will. I'll remember now. Every time I see your name, I'm like, oh, I want to message him and talk to him for a second. But I keep forgetting by the time it comes to the end of the stream. I just want to veg out. Oh, I nuked that. I did not mean to nuke that bad, but we're okay. We're okay because I had a cut, so it didn't carry too far. Hi. Wow, Beatty can shoot his ass off, John. Trust me when I say this. I mean, he's a multiple-time purple bracket champion. If we're playing invites and I get, like, good Beatty, that's fine. But if I get, like, tournament qualifying Beatty, he ain't going to win many games, to be quite frank with you. But Beatty on his good Beatty, very tough to beat. Bad Beatty, you're kind of like, I feel sorry for this guy. Like, I feel sorry that I'm not playing him handicap. Wow, that carried awfully far. All right. This is a really important thing to learn with Golden Tee, too. Notice it lined me up to the pin with the 5-wood. It's telling me that if I hit this ball right now with no spin on it, it is not going to hit anything on the straight line to the pin. So I think I can release this no problem. John, Sequoia's my favorite course of all time. 100% my favorite course. I find it to be tough but fair. Oh, you're going to be doing fine, dude. I do that as well, Jeremy. 15. That's how I lost to Lemon on the match you guys didn't see in Wisconsin. We both chushed in on one, played clean until that hole. I overcut it. That's going to be one of the rare times now, after seeing how Lemon played it behind me after watering it. He's onto something. He played bite and played the club down a club and just hammered it. And played almost straight lines. Oh, I want bite here, too. Again, if Ryan's still here, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about when you're doing the aiming at an obstacle and need to get it around. You almost pull it straight back and it gets back to where you want it to aim. And I guess that's the thing that newer players need to realize, that the cut is determining where the ball's going to go, right? So if I pull back straight, no matter where I hit the ball, it's going to force back to straight, right? If I pull it back a little right of here, it's going to try to cut back to the left of where I was at. Even if I throw it out to 3, it's going to snap harder then. Now, you have a small amount of play in there, like right near the middle part of B, that you can just get it starting and it won't come back to that point. So on a shot like that, I looked at it and said, okay, I'm off to the right of the hole. And I got nominal wind. Let's say 0 wind. If I'm teed off and my line is missing the hole to the right by, let's say, 10 feet, I need a little bit of cut to get it to go that way, right? Yeah, John, I actually, I'll go into it. I'll go into it. Let me finish this round, and then we'll talk about Sequoia a little bit. But so, Darth, I hope that if you just look at the replay at how I handled that shot, that might help you out a little bit with what you were talking about. Okay. So, John, no, so, well, that is a large one. No, the Ryan, not Brian. Okay, so John, I bet you do too. I bet you qualify higher at every PGT event you go to from here on in. Now, I'll be happy to play the qualifier after you guys are done with it, and I'll smoke you from here. No, yeah, you will qualify higher than me at every PGT event from now on forever. Ever. You will. You could finish dead last and you will still have a better qualifying score than me. I mean, it is by choice, but really sometimes in life your choices are made for you. But okay, so John, this is one of the misconceptions about Sequoia. People have the assumption that par on that course is 28, and sometimes you have a couple holes that are drivable. They're incorrect. The minimum par on that course is 29 always. 17 is always drivable. It's just risk to reward is so minimal. I did beat Thor in a Dallas tournament that year that Courses was out. He was up by 1 going into that hole, and I stuck the green and got double eagle, and he birdied it. So I went from down 1 to up 1 on that hole. Where the pin is, I didn't mind if I hit that branch. If the pin's on the left, I really got to avoid that branch because I really don't have a shot then. Steve, well, no, I'm done with that tournament scene, yes. I'm done with those. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm done with it. I'm going to it. Tonight it's just a fruit punch flavor. How do I want to do this? This is going to be my low tee. I'm going to low tee a 5. The 5's a little short of distance anyway. I got a wind in my face, slightly downhill. When they look is there. No, it's always there, Matt. There is always a shot to get there on 17 of Sequoia. It is always drivable. That's why I say Golden Tee par is 29 or better every game you play that course. We just all choose up. Oh, I got you. Well, my big thing on Petra 18 is I'm hitting a club where I can pull it back straight and then I nuke it out left. I just nuke it. No, wait. When they look is there. Yeah, when the pin on that hole is to the right-hand side or to the back, I can just be there. If it's not, then I have to avoid that first branch that I hit because I need to get up a bit deeper. Can you guys hold for 1 second here? I got to run upstairs real quick. Sorry, duty calls. I'll be right back. I'm going to put you on pause, and I might check in on the chat, so don't say anything negative.
trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop.
Oh, I absolutely was pooping, man. Absolutely had to poop. That's good. All right, so we're back. Sorry about that. Let's see if poop hands can go in. Oh, I almost got the poop hand. I hate it because all these pictures make me look fat, and I'm actually getting. It's kind of getting. I'm starting to feel like there's something definitely not right, guys. It's one of those not right things that you're like, wow, this is great, but then like now that I'm down into the, I think I'll be in the 2 teens by the end of the week, without doing anything extra, no working out. It's just not. It's kind of scary. Yeah, no, I'm not done with. I'm just not doing PGT events anymore. The time has come. Now we got a chance to go over the top here. Sometimes the 5-wood can hit this. I think today we're back enough with backspin should be fine. I really don't want to test it here though, but we're going to. And I'm going to nuke it with the 5. Well, Cags would be in the area. You got Jordan Scott. I don't think Ryan Scott. You know what, Dirt? Are you on Facebook? Because if you are, just pop it in Golden Tee Fan. You'll get a good group of responses. But if we get King, if King happens to hop in here. Yeah, Captain. Okay, so it's a great one. I'm glad somebody asked on this because it's a really important factor of Golden Tee. Okay, so if you are, all right, so let's just talk about the rules of the game rules, not my game theory. Let's talk about the rules of the game. Other than tee shots, if your approach shot can reach the hole and there's no obstacle at it, it will line you up with the hole. And it has to be, so for that shot, it made it think that the 5-wood was the right distance to get to the hole. So it's saying when it lines me up directly at the hole, that at no point in time in the swing with the 5-wood with no spin, is it going to hit an obstacle. Right? It calculated it for me. Now, if you change it with backspin or roll or release, yeah, you have a chance it changes what your path is, and it could have hit something then. But now I know I'm clear of obstacles in my way with that. It doesn't work on off of tees because off of tees, par 4s do not aim at the hole. So if you think it is not. It is off by little bits. It's never lined up. I shouldn't say never because it could possibly be. It could happen to be lined up, but the likelihood of it happening is almost 0. It's like hitting a perfectly dead straight shot in Golden Tee or having a dead straight pullback with a dead straight forward swing. Can it be done? Yes. If it happens, then it's flagged because it probably thinks you're cheating because it's almost impossible to. Does that make sense to you? Oh, see, I was talking about this hole when you were asking earlier, Jeremy. This is the one that I screw up. Well, and on this one, would I like to go around the right-hand side? Yes. But if we think about this, right, let's do the logical thought. Okay, I have no straight shot at it. I'd probably have to move it over here. Now I got a straight line. But if I'm cutting with the wind going that way, there's 0 way I can make this go in unless I dunked it, right? So I would want to go around from this side. Now the problem that comes into play here is that, especially with stouts, if I cut a little bit, I told you it's a fruit punch frame, aim. If I'm going from this angle, I have a chance of overcutting this in the water, which is exactly what I do all the time. So I want to be a little safer, so I'll undercut it a little bit and then just throw it out. And I'm happy. That is happy right now. This time that was really useful back in the day was, is it Palm? No, not, wait, is it Palm that's got the swing set hole? Is it Palm? I think, yeah, it's Palm Springs with the swing set hole on number 9, right? Well, so the swing set hole on number 9, when you got out to that patch, you were always going right through a swing set, right? Well, if it lined you up at the pin, you weren't hitting the swing set or the bar above it. Or the tree line in there. So you knew you had a straight line. If it didn't line you up with it, you could go back and line it up and then kind of take a logical guess and go, okay, it thinks that with the club that it's giving me that I'm going to hit the swing. So I can hit backspin on this and that should raise the height enough that it won't hit the swing. So there's an extra thought process that goes involved here. Major premise here, Jeremy, is I want to hit the medium T club if I can with an outwind that is going to that I can hit solid and not go too long. Short's bad too, but that rarely happens. So I'm going to go with this with a bite spin. Remember, bite will actually stop the ball faster than backspin will. Backspin will make it bounce multiple times. Bite will bounce and then stop, or bite will bounce once and then have a little hop after that, but then it's on the surface. The friction of the surface stops it more than the backspin on the ball bouncing, if that makes sense. So if you have a down 10 and you hit a chip at it with bite, it will stop faster than if you hit a chip, the same chip with backspin. Doesn't make sense, but it's true. At least out of the rough and first cuts. And sometimes fairway can, and if you're using the super spins, and yeah, that changes it a bit too. But in general, bite, getting stuck to the surface stops it faster than spin that makes the ball hop on the obstacle. So this one, I'm going to the bunker to the right of the long straight one. So you got two bunkers that are perpendicular with each other there. To the left edge of where I'm looking at right now and slightly right there. That's the area I want to go, that little cube there. And look, you got a huge landing area there. If you hit just short too, it will still kick up and leave you in a decent spot. And then we got 3. We always have a shot in from here. Now, is that my shot that I would want to hit? Is that where I want to prefer to hit? No, that's where I hate that T-bomb. The other ones where if I have a choice, I'm going to go deep over everything. And I don't care if I'm in the rough because now I'm only 240 yards away. I've got a 6-wood, 5-wood, and out of the rough, 6-wood, 5-wood backs up just like an 8.5 does off a normal. Now, this one you may like, I'm going to thumb this with release without a low T because once again, I just want this ball to move forward slightly with that wind in the left too. And the angle I'm coming in at, it's going to go up and turn left real hard and trickle back down. That's my goal here. You see it? Now, I played a little shorter than I wanted, but perfect. Right, obviously, perfect. Greatness, moisture everywhere. And I'm going to say right now, when the pin's here, I'm just going to stick the green. Now, let's talk risk to reward. Do I want to stick it dead above the hole? The putt gets easier, but if I miss the straight downhill putt, I'm in the water. If I keep it just at pin level to the right-hand side, I get a left 10, but if I miss it, I get a birdie guaranteed. The other way, I could have a par or much worse. But once again, what you're going to see a lot of people doing nowadays is turning out here or even here to hit this shot. No, I'm going to focus at my obstacle. And now with that wind going left to right 9, I can basically pull this back straight, aim around the obstacle, and I should be right level with the pin or a little bit right. So I'm going to play the high T4 and hit it soft, but I'm almost going to pull this dead straight back. I'm going to have a click to the left just because I want to make sure that, I can't see the pin directly here, and a 9 wind and a 4.5, it might be too much to push it back. So I'm going to help it a little bit. And I should have hit that. I laid off of it pretty solid. But now I have a putt that I'm not going to make this, but I can't do anything but birdie it at the worst. Yeah, there was no way that putt was going to work. But I wasn't about to try to chip it and then go in the sand and then have another chip coming back. Only problem I did there for everything that I was talking about was I didn't hit that ball hard enough. I laid off of it a bit. Hitting it directionally at 126 would be like I hit that ball 115 on a straight shot. And that's pushing it. 115 on a high tee forward on an uphill shot. I did not really give it a lot. I didn't give it a lot. Then you add the fact that it had a longer path to travel because of my cut. I hit a bad shot. All right. It happened. I hit some bad one, but I luckily had the hole out right before it to make up for it. So Beatty's probably not winning. Oh, congrats, man. All right. So I think we're going to have another woman jumping into the mix. Well, no, he played it on a daily, dude. That doesn't even count for shit. No offense. It doesn't. It means nothing. It literally means absolutely zero to me. My 5-better in match play that I just shot in St. Louis, in Wisconsin, is a more impressive game. Yeah, sorry, daily scores. We shouldn't even have seen that record. Shouldn't be on there. In fact, it's supposed to be gone already, and I don't know why it's not. All right, what do we got? We got a couple fun ones left here. We got maybe 2-3 games left before I got to call it a night. I'm going to play this Alpine Run for sure. Sandhill is happening. And then let's look at Eagles Crest too, because it's an interesting one. No, fuck it. We gotta play MB versus MM. Let's play Hawthorne first. Hi, Kev. Not much at all, man. Just enjoying your company. Meaning all of them, not just you. I love everybody, but you too. Well, I had a 35 in match play, and it doesn't get the record because somebody has a 35 up on a daily score. It's kind of obnoxious, to be quite frank. I've mentioned, we've talked about this for 5 years now, right? And I've had the same thing. The only thing that's good for is to make people think that their game is rigged. Really, that's all that those being on the leaderboard is good for. We are literally advertising people playing the game in an unintended way that's more repeatable on the same setup over and over again that have all the records on these courses. It's stupid. It is the antithesis of what a leaderboard should be doing. So we got Cindy Russell out in Vegas, though. Just put up a legit 28 under. So we got another female that's coming up the ranks. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a point of contention that I've had for a very long time. It's pissed me off for a long time, and I was assured that was part of the last patch. Either ineptitude or I was flat out, or I was lied to. One of the two, right? I can't do anything myself, though. I can't fix it myself. I mean, I could. It's probably not that hard. You just run a different database query. You too, Matt. Have a good night, brother. So now this one, the 9 one's a little fickle with this. I'm going to low tee the 9, but the low tee 9 is basically the distance that it shows. I mean, it really is. It's basically about that. So where I want to release this, and I'm probably going to because I'm going to move it back a little bit. Yeah, just for the home edition till next week. Hi, buddy. Just a week. It starts next week now. It was supposed to start today. Oh, it's weird. I felt like crap before I started. Like I was contemplating not streaming and not feeling okay. That was stupid and that was just dumb. That was dumb and greedy. Whew. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't ask. I frankly it kind of pisses me off because that was going to be my content for today. Like that was going to be my content for the week. We were going to go through and just roll everybody in that thing. But luckily I got my pass this weekend though. So oh, that's awesome, Ryan. But you know what though, man? You'll absolutely Well, where in Illinois are you, Ryan? Wait, you're in Illinois, right? I'm sorry, I get everybody confused. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one, though. I went out, I got fifth this last week. I played 20 games and got my fifth. I really don't want to, I don't like taking from the home edition guys. I could have just stayed at home. I happened to have some doctor's appointments, so I stopped by the PGA bar, played some game with Doc, and then just burned them out. Then Jill and I went out and had some lunch. It was 21 total, Kevin, for me. Oh, I got you. That's right. I grew up in Frankfurt, so I knew the Mokina area a bit. Yeah, it was 20 games and one reboot. But the whole thing is part of this qualifier, right? If in the first 5 games I put up a monster, like my first game of it, I was 3 better going into 16, and I watered that twice, so I ended up shooting 26. That one, if I shot the 3 better on that, shot my 30 right then, well, then I'm going to go and play to win the damn thing, because now, but I didn't have any big games, and it was like, now I'm just chasing to replace scores. So I ended up with a 28 and all the rest 27s. Done. I'm still waiting for the week where all the bangers go out and just beat everybody up. Like after the scores stop updating. You know, that would get me. Yeah, no, I'm probably flying out of Chicago to go to Worlds. So maybe I'll make an extra day and stop by and hit you up, or you could come out, because my buddy John Tatura, he runs a tailgaters in Bolingbrook, and he qualified this weekend too, so I can't wait. I'm surprised I didn't hear people saying that I was playing his games, even though I was in Iowa and he was in Illinois. Well, I mean, maybe we get you out to come up to his bar one day when we're there. Oh, I hate this shot. All right, so I'm going to man up and high tee cut the 3-wood. The driver would be fine here, but I think this is going to be better. Did I hit it too hard? Nope, we're good. Oh, Kevin, TDS. John's always awesome, my man. Jesus, that's terrible. Oh, well, we're missing shots now. Who cares? We'll give Matty B a shot at it. Yeah. It's fun. It's kind of nice, because in my banger days, like, it would have been more irritating if I only had one machine, and he plays a little slower. And I mean, that's not saying a lot for me. Like, everybody plays a little slower than me, but we end up talking a lot more. Yeah. Brian, you'll get there, man. It's time, man. That's all it is now. It's time. Luckily, you've got a lot more resources at your disposal to become good at GoldenTeeTV if you want to. I mean, for most of us, it was just trial and error. Okay, if I can thumb this dead straight, this is in 100%. It's 100% in. The problem is I probably won't thumb it straight. Nope. But that was a guarantee. That's like a hole that would be a gimme hole in one. Yeah, that one I'm pissed that I didn't get an ace on. That was 100%. Actually, it's funny too, because he rode with Chad and I up to Wisconsin, and he's telling us stories about running with Fauci when I'm like, what? Yeah, he's had a life, man. He's had a life. I give him credit. Very, very, very kind-hearted dude. Okay, so this hole, look, the shot for me when I can't get to the top fairway is always this. No, dude, it don't matter. Yeah, he's very smooth. It's such a different game. Okay, so now I'm in the rough, right? But I need to cut this. So I'm going to go here. Just know that if you're cutting out of the rough, if you cut it and throw it out the same direction as you cut, it hardly comes back. But if I do a full C and hit this straight, I only lose like a club's length, and it's going to turn almost enough too. Watch this. See how much cut that got? That's out of the rough. So you just got to know you can't play a two-way. We'll call it a two-way cut out of hazards. You can play a one-way cut, but a two-way cut that won't turn at all. Oh, come on. Right, you're good, dude. It ain't hurt me, man. It's a really good thing. It's a good thing to know. And it's those little tidbits. Like, I know if I'm stuck in some trees, I know that if I can determine how many I'm going to hit, if I'm going to hit 2 trees, I'm going to go up 2 clubs. Now, obviously, that's not a perfect number because I could have 2 clubs with a bigger gap. But generally, I need 2 more clubs when I have to hit 1 branch. But if I'm going to hit 2 branches, it's like 3 clubs. So you can figure this shit out and put yourself in some spots that you think you're in trouble that turn out to be very actually good spots. I started using... Whoopsie, that was terrible. My God, how do you miss that? Oh, well, Matty B deserves a win. Oh, he really does. Yeah, that was really bad. We saved par. That's good. Now, a lot of those things were a lot more important to know before we had tees and Build-A-Bag and having clubs that can clear everything, even without having tees. Like, you had to learn how to hit. Like, I might have a shot that I had no way to get over. It's 260 to the hole, and I got a line of trees in front of me. What I figured out is that, wow, I could hit a driver right into the trees, and it will knock it down to the perfect distance. That one was coming into play on Indigo Hole 8 back when it was out. Because you didn't have a club unless you played one set of clubs that had one of the woods back then, a higher lofted one. Then you couldn't go over it. Now with tees, we're not really worried about it now because we can just high tee a 6-wood or a 9-wood and we're fine. But I didn't want to change to that other set of clubs because the rest of the course was too good for the low loft. All right, so I hate this shot. Generally, you're going to cut it around to the side that you got the biggest gap on, but this one I'm in the middle tee box, and this is an ugly look for me. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to high tee this. I'm going to pull it back almost straight. But notice if I pull this back straight, I won't get to the right of the hole because I got a wind push that way. So I need to get this a couple clicks left, and then I'm going to throw it out pretty far. Did I cut it enough? We did. That might be more of what you were talking about, Ryan. So it's baby cuts. Get it started the direction, the obstacle you need to go around if it needs to come through. And then you throw it out as far as you want. And really, you're just changing your distance that it's landing. And then we're changing the angles that it's coming in on. But I hope that was more of what you were talking about there. Yeah, but see, okay, so Brian, now here's where the problem with doing the half cuts is, right? If I turned one more turn, a full is a different animal, you can tell. But if I'm playing in a spot where it's taking a cut in between the A and the B or the B and the C, look at that 50, at that halfway between, so the 45-degree angle there. or it's not 45 because these are 45, it's like 30s. But once you get past that halfway point, it will snap if you're under it. So you don't always know, you can't tell perfectly if you're going to have the cut right. So the way I did it, I can't really fuck the cut up. I can't really overcut it or undercut it. I mean, I can undercut it a little bit, but in general, I know if I'm pulling back to be under the halfway between B and C, I will be under the halfway between B and C. That's all I'm doing with that. And then plus it's easier when I'm looking at the pin, I can see what the break is. I can kind of calculate what the break is of my shot coming at that cut and adjust my shot accordingly. Now, you guys all might not be on that level that you're doing that and reading the breaks of greens when you're hitting your approaches. But you will get to that point if you keep playing where you're paying attention to that just as much as the wind. It's another variable that we have the information on. If I turn left twice, I don't know what the break is of my ball coming in from a direct left turn. That has to be straight memory or course knowledge or like tribal knowledge. You can't get that read off of what you're looking at. So to me, a full on a shot like that I don't hit constantly is not going to be as accurate of a shot. It can be safer, but it's not going to be accurate. I can't technically aim at the pin all of the time when I'm hitting fulls, if that makes sense. Now, if I got to hit the shot 5 times in a row, then if I'm hitting the same shot 5 times in a row, well, then I can adapt to it with a full and use my tee to adjust to it. That's what the daily is. That style of play does not translate into single game modes. It makes a lot of things very, very easy and safe, but it doesn't make them whole outs. And really, I don't know about the rest of you, but whenever I log in to play a game of Golden Tee, my initial thing is to shoot the perfect game Golden Tee. Like, that's the one. It's almost impossible. And we gotten closer and closer. Well, no, actually, I have. No one else has. But it's still not a perfect game of Golden Tee. So that's one of the things that will always keep me going. I think it's the same. You look at that when you're playing outdoor golf as well, too. Same kind of thing. Like, you can always shoot a better round. So you always have something to gauge yourself on. This is an interesting hole. It can be drivable in a few sets. If I have the tee box all the way up to the left, the A1 low tee can get on. It's not here, not this setup. So what are we going to do? We're going to make this easy and very repeatable. Oh, it absolutely does. We want to eliminate variables. So I'm going to hit the high 9. I'm going to full C this. And then just nut it. And guess what? Look at that. Perfect approach every time. It's like a goddamn air fryer. Set it and forget it, right? Okay, so now this is on. It's going to be tough to stick. And back in the day, if I'd landed in the bunker, it would ramp out. Now it doesn't. We're going to try it, though. What? Did I just get robbed? Did I just get a severe robbery? That's kind of shit. That's kind of shit. But let's be honest, that ball was going hot as hell. But that could have been great. Should have been great. Not enough sauce to get back. My God, I got robbed there. That was highway robbery, guys. This is another one. Can be drivable. We're too far back today. We need to be on the closer boxes. And it's another one where you got to understand how to adjust the height of your swing. A low tee goes so low, but if I roll that same shot and have a half cut on it, it even makes it go lower. So I can actually get it to stay under all of the trees without hitting it. Now, we stuck this back in the day with no tees by just hammering it through with that 8.5 driver. I haven't even gotten close when trying it now. So there are some things that have changed on older courses that just don't work anymore. And this course especially, this is the course that made me really understand how bad these bunkers are now with the sticky sand, and I'll show you the hole I'm speaking of. Yeah, Aiden, I think I was at, what did it, I didn't even see what it, actually, let's see what it finished at. I might have been close after 12, to be honest with you. I was at 214 at 12, and I walked away from it. I want to look to see what the finals were, what the bottom was. I think it was 215. So I would have been in on my 14th game. No, it's not invites. I want events, right? Events. My events. Let's see. Okay, so 8th was 216. So honestly, yeah, I took 20 games is what it was. So when I play with him, wind and greens are one way. Then obviously different when I play. Yeah, you do have to, you gotta, that's part of getting your skills up. Hi, Aiden. Hi, buddy. How are you, man? All right, so that pin's in a bad spot. If we look up, I can't go with like a high T 4-wood, 3-wood at it because I will hit the bottom of those. So now this is where we're going to use the bailout type full shot. So if I go here, 2 turns is generally the right amount for a full. I'm thinking I might want to low tee this, but we're going to actually just softy it. And bounce it over the bunker. Now, like I said there, would I have rather had a shot where I could aim at the pin with a baby cut, throw it out? Yeah, because then I can try to hold it out. That I'm just playing it because I know it's going to be close to that line. I'm not accurate with it, but I'm very safe. That's close, but no, we can't get it around the tree. We can't get it around the tree, so we're just going to play it. We're just going to play it as a 2-shot par 4. Or, sorry, would we call that a 2-shot par 4 or a 3-shot par 4? Hi, Owen. How you doing, bud? Guess you guys got me spewing out information here, man. These are the things that I'm telling you guys right now are the kind of things is when I would get messages from bangers like, why are you telling everybody these things? No lie. I've gotten those messages or those calls before. It's crazy, right? But I mean, I'm gonna be in. That'll be a hill I'll die on till the end of my day. That it's better for everybody if other people get better at the game. If only certain people were good at the game and didn't help anybody else out and get better, the game would die very quickly. The reason this game's still around is because of the community. It's nothing. The game isn't. It's because there's better graphics, golf games, simulations out there, more realistic. Yada yada yada, look better, but there's nothing that has the input like we do on this game, and there's nothing like no other game out there that I've played that has a fan base like this. Yeah, it's true, man. Oh God, moisture. It's what's for dinner. I mean, I would like to get those of you going to St. Louis, observe. Just be there to observe other players, right? Observe the other top players that you're there. And then you wonder why. Just observe and see how people interact. It's definitely different between certain players. This hole here is when I noticed these sticky sands were as bad as they were. This made me definitely shoot angry emails out. So the first time I played this course where we went to this year, I left this a little short and had a chip. Well, it trickled over the edge. It might have even been a putt. When it trickled over the edge, it went down and stuck on the wall of the bunker. And literally no shot that I hit would go more than 3 feet. I even turned backwards and it wouldn't go anywhere. Because it was stuck on a hill, like on the transition between the rough and the sand. And it was like in a wall almost, like an invisible wall. It was goofy. Hi, Rick. We're going that old Paris Hilton shit. I love it. All right, so those of you back in the day when we went, that show was out with Paris Hilton and well, I forget what Lionel Richie's daughter's name was, but oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're becoming friends with a huge douchebag, and we still even love him. I got McCook stories, man. Okay, Rick, I mean, you haven't been playing as long, and some of us are. I mean, so I'm in the low. I'm at 120,000 games probably lifetime now. It's not even a fair comparison. So please don't make that comparison. I just want you to understand on where the people, the best players in the game, are with the relationships with people of players that aren't on their caliber, or in that regard. Like what their thought process is, if they're even around for them at all, if they're there just to win money and leave, that kind of thing. And you will understand what I'm talking about, right? There's people that are there to have fun and hang out with the community, and there are people there that are their main goal is to take as much money as possible and leave. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing, but actually I'm saying that's an absolutely wrong thing because that's short-term thinking. If you do that, it's like you can shear a sheep many times. Yeah, he can be. I got stories, man. We got stories. I think the best PG story was at an NIV one year was right after we got a 30-game limit. McCook and I locked ourselves in the back of the bar when it closed, and we played from Saturday night at bar close till match play on Sunday. But we played 30 games on our card and another person's card each, and then had to borrow people's cards to play our matches the next day. Okay, yeah, 15 years should do it. You're right. You're terrible. I agree. You should feel horrible about yourself. This is one of those shots, though, where I can't technically do it from here because now I got to get it too far around the tree. Now, can I low tee this and get it there? Yeah, that's going to be touchy. So I have to do it here, and now I'm at the risk of overcutting it and snapping it over, but we're going to try to be good. Yeah, that was great. Hefe gave us a couple buckets of beer and then said, okay, I'm locking you guys back here. So if you leave, you can't get back in. I was like, all right. No way. See, that putt came off soft. Like it didn't have any speed to it. And that's because of the distance I was at. Well, I'd have to look, but I bet if we looked at the chart, the percentage that I came up with there, and I might not even have gone that low, but I bet the percentage on that putt was dramatically lower, like 108% of my total distance I could go. When normally you can go about 112 to 114%. That's where you don't get it to noticeably slow down. Oh well, though I think we were one better there too, weren't we? Oh yeah, we were actually should be two better. But I shot a great round on that course, and I shot a 25. The 27 I have up on that course is a 5 better. In the setup that it was in, it was a 5 better. That course we called it an amateur course back in the day, and it's really not amateur for skill, but the par is so bad compared to the other courses around that time. And that really can't happen because the way the handicap system is now, if they do that with 1 year's courses and you do a handicap and one course you get is a par 26 and the next one's a 31 and the other courses are all 30 par, that means my handicap is now 4 strokes higher than what the max par on a course is, and that doesn't work out very well. Well, okay, so we're going to play one more and then I'm calling it a night. So you guys can choose. We'll go slow through them. I want to keep an older one in here, though. So if you guys see one that you really want to see, first one gets dibs. All right, not all at once. Actually, we might have a decent delay on. I don't know what King said. Cumberland it is. Josh Martin, thank you for chiming in. Following directions. Now, this was the one course of this year. All the other courses had a par of close to 30 for this year. And this course was low, very low. Now, we just got a good setup. One might be on, actually. But the problem is that angle, it's already teeing me off slightly right. So the full C3 is going to be a little bit right. So I actually need to I need to not hit it all the way out to 3. But if I don't hit it all the way to 3, I'm going to lose distance. My goal here is to be in the rough, roughly 20 yards away, and I'll have a chush. I mean, I could even go straight, honestly. Well, we're going to try the C3. I got it under pretty good. Big hops. And yeah, so I should think this is a gimme. This should be, I mean, I would think that I shouldn't miss this. If I can shush off to the side sometimes, though. Oh, we got it. And once I get familiar with the trackball, those shots are 90% makes. This one I'm going to try to get this down to the bottom into the bunker. It might not get there at that angle, but it's going to be close. Now I cut the rock, but that's fine. But once again, I don't want to have my shots to have this. Look, the elevation is a variable we can't define. It does not tell us anything about how much higher than the hole we are. So it's a guessing game. Do you guys play Cumberland a lot? I do not. I think you mean the chipper cloud, right? Not the cutter. The chipper? Yeah, I think you mean the chipper. There are some valuable things with it, but I can make another club be the chipper as well. So it's really not, it's not worth ever putting it in your bag. No, it's the chipper. Tim Glenn was raving about it. And I was like, yeah, but I can make any club into a chipper by chushing. No point to it. I'm going to buy as much as I can at the sports book. I should go off at, I'm guessing 15 to 20 to 1. Last year, I think I got a total of 2K through at an average of 18 to 1. So I was feeling good. Yeah, that's the point. I don't want a club that I'm wasting a club with that. I won't even put a lob wedge in my bag because I think that's a waste. Yeah, literally. Every club can chip with. Every club you can chip with. I chush with every club. Honestly, ebbs and flows. If we gambled $1 million, somebody would probably be up 999,900, and the other person would be at $1,100,000. That's how McCook and I were that close. At the time when he was playing back in the day, I would give him the little edge. Now I'd say it's equal, or honestly, I'm not gonna sit here. I can say that Stenmark and Haas are better than me. That's the only two I will say that are better than me ever now. I'm not trying to be cocky, but those are the only two that I would ever say, I can legitimately say they are 100% better players than me. And honestly, now I think I have an argument to say, well, just because they won more live events, I have more of the best scores of all time. Is that whose criteria is higher? Me against the course, I do pretty good. And then not to mention, I'm firmly going with this. If I was not cheated at Worlds in 2016, I win Worlds going away. I was hands down the best player at the planet that time. Well, Oliver can say anything he wants. It don't make a goddamn truth to it. But right now I'm not playing nearly as much either, so like, you see that? I missed that. Now that, I feel like that was because I've been spraying the new trackball out a little bit. All right, so we got a downhill. Remember what I said, that this club doesn't carry as far as the overhead meter, shows on the overhead. So I'm going to hit this with bite, and I'm going to play it out a little bit more than a 6 than I normally would. Yeah, it does. And I'm not against the handicaps. Look, even though the system's flawed, you would never see me skip out on a handicap tournament. That's another thing. You watch people who say, I won't play handicap. Well, they're not, they just want money. That's it. It's kind of offensive to a lot of you. And also the problem here is that, like, my record in my handicap invites, I win a higher percent of handicap invites than I do non-handicap invites. I know that sounds weird, right? But it makes sense when you think about it, because most of the handicap invites I get, people have already think they're going to lose. When in reality, they have a bigger advantage over handicap in this game gives you too much of an advantage. If the goal of handicap is to make 2 players equal, it's not right. It's skewed in the one way. It's skewed in one direction. And in that regard, I can't stand the handicap. Handicap needs to be by course. And I kind of already have the numbers for by course to make it pretty legit. But that's something I haven't even brought up, because I don't think there'd be any time by anybody to actually accommodate something like that. And really, all you'd have to do is have a check marks to apply, like a dynamic handicap, we could call it, right? Well, and that's why the handicap. I would never feel that way unless it keeps happening. But the whole point is, though, right? Okay, if you're shooting -2 against your handicap and you're doing that consistently, you are cheating. You are cheating your handicap. You are manipulating it somehow, whether you're doing it intentionally or not. The system is designed that your handicap should always go up higher than it should go down. So if your handicap, if you're shooting multiple two better than your handicap, like if in one of these handicap tournaments that Tim's running, if one person shoots 4 2 betters of his handicap during the tournament, he manipulated his handicap. There's no doubt in my mind. Math does not lie when it comes to things like that. I don't mind getting beat, but when I play back-to-back games against the same opponent and they back-to-back not only shoot better than their handicap, but they shoot 2 physical better than par. Your handicap should not be a 25 if you ever can shoot a 2 better. You're doing something to manipulate it. Mark, so I prefer the 80%. But even the 80%, so what I was doing, I ran a few pretty large tournaments, and what I was doing is I was looking at how the results on each one's, right? Yeah, that one's not somebody. I mean, look, that's just somebody that's not that good. And I would never, if I'm PGT, I would never want to exclude that person, because now I might get an entry out of them. So it's part of the game. It really is. The only thing that PGT does really wrong in the handicap is if I make up those 12 strokes and go to sudden death, I've already made up the strokes. There's no more handicap. So it would be whoever chained. Well, look, honestly, what it means to the layman is absolutely nothing, because your handicap goes up at 3 times the rate as it can come back down. I want to say it's 3 times. It's 0.18 down. No, it's more than that. It's like 6 times. It's 0.18 strokes down for every 3 strokes that you are below your handicap. And for every stroke you're above, I think it's 0.36 it goes up. So if you shoot multiple -2s in a handicap invite, you cheated. I'm sorry, you cheated. You manipulated your handicap, because that means that if I shoot 2 better, my handicap went up almost a full stroke by it. And now so that means I now shot 2 strokes better than 1 stroke better than what my handicap was. So now I'm shooting a 2 strokes better and a 3 strokes better. It just doesn't happen. For me to do that, I'd have to shoot a 33 under. And then my next game, I'd have to shoot a 34 under. Or I'd have to, if the par was 30, I'd have to shoot a 33 under and then a 34 under. It's just not that possible. If you're good enough to do that, then your handicap is too low to begin with. If that makes sense, guys. And not to say that somebody's cheating intentionally, where that is like the likely outcome in those scenarios. He could just not realize it and dick around on the last hole on a bad game and try to do something stupid all the time on his last couple holes and calling it practice. That's technically manipulating your handicap. It really is. Yeah, well, so lifetime average really doesn't mean anything on it. It really doesn't. So the rolling, what I did though was, Mark, what I had done with mine is okay, after I gave an 80% tournament, right? I gave everything 80%. And then I watched and I said, okay, look, the guys with the top handicaps at 80% won this course 90% of the time. That's not how a handicap should work. So for like tropical, I made it 60%, or I'm sorry, for like Baja, it was 60% handicap, but for tropical, it was 90. And I adjusted it that way, and it ended up getting the results. The results were more on par with what I thought handicap should be, which means that each course should have a slope rating. And part of that slope rating has to be what Golden Tee par is. You will, Brian. It's just playing, and you'll figure it out one day. It's like, look, some people play. I'm going to use the line from Good Will Hunting, like, hey, no, I'm not going to. Look, Beethoven played the piano. He just looked at it and knew he could just play. But some people get really good at the piano because they spend hours and hours and yada, yada, yada. And there's those differences in Golden Tee. You'll see the people like your Thorbrogers of the world that in his first 500 games, he was already a top 1%er. Like that. I mean, he was there right away. He just understood it. I would put myself in the middle of the two. Like, it took me a little bit longer. Well, once I started seeing, I mean, there was a certain point where things started clicking and I realized I had a better understanding of it. Well, so this year's courses, my biggest thing in ranking these courses is Golden Tee par. Now, it kind of falls on the wayside when you look at a course like Eagles Peak or Tropical, because the better players shoot way better on those. Like, I mean, I think my average on the courses now is like a 28, and I know a lot of people that are maybe a stroke or two worse than handicap that haven't shot 28s on it. So there are some courses that totally fly in the face of it completely, but generally, if the course par is low, the percentage needs to be a bigger percentage, because technically, like, if we played Eagles Crest right now, right? Not Eagles Peak, Eagles Crest, the one I just played. I shot a clean round and I was 24. My handicap's at 30. Where am I going to make up I can't shoot a 6 better on that course. No one ever has. So now I have an unrealistic expectation of what I need to shoot on that course. And a course like that, it is very easy for a person that I'm giving 4 strokes to shoot 18 birdies. Very easy. And then you throw an eagle or two on some easy ones. You're at 20 right there, and I can't win. So that's a big part of it. So I don't think the gear of courses matters much. I mean, I would put Eagles Peak at 90 or 100% handicaps necessary. Obviously, there's going to be some pitfalls here because a player at 24 and a player at 22 are probably both going to make very similar mistakes in it. So it kind of hurts them. But I'm always starting top down when I'm looking at those. And then really the rest of the courses, I got to put, I mean, maybe you give Hollywood would be where if I'm at an 80%, I might give Hollywood a 90% and that's just because of the 17, where the higher skilled player has such a huge advantage there, or the person with the higher handicap. Because a higher handicap could mean higher skill, but it could mean lots more games, right? Well, a lot of them do have that, Mark. A lot of them do have it. They are very close to one another. I don't remember having an aberration, and generally the aberrations now are the courses that are remastered, but this one happened. Eagles Peak just happened to remaster well. What was the other one? Champ? Look at Champ. The remaster there. Par is 26, 27 at best, and every other course was a par of 30 or better at some point. Go back and look at Coral Ridge, right? I thought the course was not great, but part of the reason why the course wasn't great to me was because the Golden Tee par was 25. When the rest of the courses that year were 30 to 30, 32, 33 even on some of them. So it just doesn't line up. You just got to pick the right ones. All right, well, we got stuff we can continue talking about on Wednesday. Take a look at those Excels I put out there. I know it's kind of nerdy and goofy, but it might make something click on your understanding on why you're doing something wrong. For me, my biggest change in Golden Tee when I got the most understanding, like my biggest knowledge gain, was the first time I took a trackball apart. So if you haven't had a chance to do it, do it. You might understand the physics of it. And just for one little tidbit, let's see, has he still got it set up? No, wrong camera. That's a camera. Let me see if I can find the image. But it'll give you a good layout of it. I know it's up here. Give me a second. I'll do it. Find it. That's a UFO. Where's the image? Ah, there it is. Good. We'll call that. Let's just put that on 3 and no, we don't want 3. Let's go 2. There we go. You see how that lines up, right? That trackball lines up and it is not symmetrical. So when I saw that, I was like, no shit. Wow, that's why it's different when I putt to the right than it is to the left. If I'm putting to the left, I'm right on that roller, so I'm getting that read instantly. But if I'm putting to the right, gravity and physics is telling me that ball's technically moving away from the roller, so I might miss it right away. You see? You can see how that one, right? Yeah, I'll drop them in there again. Well, here, I'm sure I have one here. That's the distances chart there. But so, if you're looking at that, that's how the trackball lines up in every Golden Tee machine. Would I like to see it different? Yeah, I want to see it fully symmetrical. Could I do it? Yes. It would take some code changes, and then it would also take some. It would also take a little bit of work on mounting the trackball so it's flush, so it's dead straight up and down. And IT doesn't make the trackballs, so they're not going to do it. Why would they bother? It's no point to it. So one of those is the distance numbers, and it gives you the max carry. Those are carry distances, not total. Total distance is a useless stat because we don't know what you're hitting to get it to bounce that, right? Now, Rick, they'd have to have a new trackball completely designed, kind of. And then you would have, and then the two machines technically couldn't work together in tournaments because they're the back. You couldn't have the tournament system between the two because someone would say, well, the machines are different and the physics of them are different because the trackball's mounted different. That's using stouts, and there was nominal wind. The reason why we choose stouts for something like this is because it's what most of the people watching, and if you're just starting playing now, I recommend, it's the ball to start with at the very least, or it's the ball you should be using right now. But also because I get half the wind, so it's hard to get a 0 wind on it. So if I get a 1 wind, that's basically a 0 wind. I can do my testing with a 1 wind. It saves me time. And then it's easy to adjust off of what your stout numbers are because it's the least amount of inputs other than what we're doing. Like it's the least amount of external inputs to every shot that we're hitting. So off of that, I can extrapolate it out to the other one. Yeah, Brian, they're not cheap. Generally, I'll wait. What I would do is Hap will put them on sale, so they're down to like $55 a ball, and I'll buy 6 or 8 and just get 1 crate. So I'm only paying 1 shipping for all of them. But I haven't had to do that in a while. I had just been taking parts from my old vendor, like going into his warehouse and stuff he was going to throw away. I'd take out of every 20 balls, I could make 4 perfect new ones out, 2 perfect ones out of it. It was a time consuming amount, but you do it for the night. Hopefully, if you guys got those links, if you didn't get them, ask me. And if you guys come up with some other stuff that you want to know a little bit more about, and it might get me down a rabbit hole, please do. I don't mind rabbit holes. Not a K-hole, though. We don't want to be down a K-hole. But we will see you guys back on Wednesday. I'll do my best to be live. Wednesday is a day that I might have to miss. So I'll try to be on at 8, but I might have to miss Wednesdays sometimes. But we will see you guys then, or if not Friday at 8. But we'll see you guys later, all right? Have a good night, everybody. Love you. Word of mouth is out. Oh, Mark. Okay, don't get me started here. Do not remove the copper tape. All right? Just don't do it. I can't stand it. It's a pet peeve of mine. The copper tape, okay, most likely it's not going to cause any problems if you remove it. But that it uses it to bleed off static electricity for one, and the electrostatic discharge that's created by the rotation of the magnetic fields that you're making. When you remove it, there's no place for that to bleed off, except it can go to the optical boards and cause interference in the signal of the optical board. If light gets distorted by magnetic fields, right? It does. It bends a little bit. So it could be messing you up a little bit. And I'll give you one example of this. Chad Carmichael, bronzy, big thumbs, like 110, 120 thumbs kind of thing, right? And he's messaging me and he's like, dude, I don't know why, but my trackball at home, when I'm playing at home, I can't thumb more than 90. I take my ball to another person's house and it thumbs normal. It's at my 110 to 115s. So in the end, after a whole bunch of testing, the only thing I found different was, okay, look, the environment that you're playing at might have a higher static electricity buildup. Go buy some copper tape and make it. And he's like, you know what? Once I put that back on there at my house, it's to the normal speeds. So it needs a path to bleed off. They're there for a reason. Taking it off, all you can do is hurt shit. Leaving it on, you don't affect it at all. It's not a negative. And when people say, oh, copper tape's causing your distance to go down, it's fucking not. You guys realize that I can hold the roller when you hit it, and you probably would lose. You'd lose some speed, but it's not. When the copper tape is touching the roller, it's only the most meticulous of players or people that are very fine-tuned with stuff like thumb shots will notice that. The copper tape is not causing your ball to not go, to go from 140 to 70. So when people say that, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. And we'll leave it at that. Now you get your rabbit hole me, goddammit, Mark. You rabbit hole me right at the end. But we can talk about that next stream, but I'll keep that in mind. So thank you. We are out, though. Word of mouth is done. Have a good night, guys.